Hi there, welcome in. My name is Suze and I'm a divine feminine energy healer and guide. Welcome into Sacred Sunday. Thank you so much for being here. I am still sitting in my little Christmas corner with my kids' Christmas ornaments. I hope you guys are kind of laughing along with me at some of these ornaments. They're really funny. Some of them are kind of quite a few years old from when my kids were a lot younger and did all kinds of funny little projects in school. So I'm like, it brings me so much joy every Christmas to get a tree out and put these ornaments on it and just kind of be reminded of the journey with my kids. So I hope you all are ready for Christmas, excited for Christmas. Christmas Eve, Sunday, Sacred Sunday, Christmas Eve. I hope you all are well. I hope you all are surrounded by peace and love. Let's get into it, right? Sacred Sunday is always about the oracle cards, and I'm going to make this video very short probably today, brief and simple. Simple is kind of my word here. I'm going to pull really quickly from the Divine Feminine deck, as I always do, and then I am going to pull from the Rose Oracle deck as well. Let's start with the Rose Oracle deck today. And I've already done a pre-shuffle, but I am going to just do another quick little shuffle before we get into this. I just saw as I was splitting the deck, trust the seasons again. Twice I split the deck. I just have to show you this. Because again, we just came into the winter solstice. Trust the seasons. What is the lesson, the work for you to do in this winter solstice, right? Winter being about darkness. Winter being about going within. What is the lesson to be learned in the darkness, potentially, so that we can plant seeds in the spring and see the fruits of our labor in the summertime? All right, let's see. Living courageously. I love that. All right, let's see. What is the message for the Divine Feminine this week from the Rose Oracle? That's funny. Hang on. So I have two cards here, and this one is the one that I was seeing at the bottom of the deck right before I started this. The Rose Thread. Inner call, soul-led, the mystic, living courageously. The energy of courage has been definitely coming forward a lot. I think I've mentioned this in the past couple of Sacred Sundays, but the idea of courage and understanding, again, very feminine concept of it takes a lot of courage to be in the Divine Feminine, because the Divine Feminine is always looking for growth and expansion and deepening of intimacy, whether it's intimacy with the self or intimacy with another, or intimacy even with the journey itself, you know, and that requires a lot of courage to go and see things you haven't allowed yourself to see before, to acknowledge things you haven't acknowledged before, to feel things you haven't let yourself feel before. There's a lot to that. It's interesting. I was on the phone with someone earlier this morning and we were talking about depression and how, you know, unfortunately, depression often plays a huge role in our awakening journeys, in the journey back to the self, in the journey of disconnecting from the matrix, disconnecting from belief systems that have been passed down through generations that we are trying to break away from, to liberate ourselves, to be our authentic selves, and to do like serious ancestral healing. It requires a lot of courage, constant courage. So the rose thread, where's the rose thread leading you to go that requires a risk and requires faith and trust in yourself that you can do it, and the courage to move forward? The other card that came out is the Wild Rose. Do it your way. Embrace your uniqueness, untamed, which I believe this card literally came out either last Sunday or the Sunday before. Very recently, this card came out. Do it your way. Embrace your weirdness, untamed. This, again, is very intuitive. And I like this because this card mentions the mystic. This card feels very intuitive. If you are doing something your own unique, weird way, you're allowing your intuition to guide you. And it's, again, going back to self-trust. that understanding your journey, your decisions that you make, where you feel led to go next or not go, it doesn't need to make sense to anyone but you. And this is where that idea of self-validation, I feel, really comes into play that I've talked about before. As women, we tend to talk a lot, right? And in this connection and talking and releasing of energy through talking, we tend to go to our friends and family and in that feminine space, talk things out with friends and family. But we have to be really, really careful, again, who we're going to, because the goal is to get so strong in your own intuitive knowing and in your own knowing of your rose thread that you're following, that you don't need validation externally to tell you that it's okay to make that decision or to validate that it's okay that you feel or think that way and you're not crazy or you're not wrong, right? I've done some videos on that about, be careful of the person who makes you feel comfortable and the two types of loyalty. And the danger of going to someone subconscious, this is all subconscious, going to someone for validation that is going to keep you small and safe because they're living in a small, anxiety-ridden fear of growth, unwillingness to grow and change and expand. And they're going to want you to stay down there with them and keep them company. And so sometimes the wounded part of ourselves, if you're afraid to live courageously, step into the unknown, which would be growth, which would be deepening of intimacy, which would be going deeper into your heart space and living your truth from there. The danger is if you're afraid of that, of again, going to that person who will validate you staying small and not deepening your journey, your growth, your intimacy, going into your heart space. Because that does require a lot of courage and bravery and willingness to lose people along the way. I think I'm going to do a video on that. Losing people. So where is it this week that you can get your focus clear again? We're right on the edge of moving into a new year, 2024. Can you slow down for a minute? I know this is a busy season with all the holidays, but are you taking the time to listen to where your unique rose thread is calling you to expand and move into courageously, trusting that thread will guide you where you're supposed to be, in the bigger sense, supposed to be. And knowing that that rose thread, if you have the courage to go there, will lead you to the greatest fulfillment of your life. 10 of Cups type energy. There's a lot for me personally that's coming through on those messages. I really hope that it is blessing you as much as it's blessing me. I'm feeling a little emotional right now. That's really, really meaningful to me. Inner call, soul-led, the mystic, living life courageously. Inner call, soul-led, the mystic. The mystic will constantly be misunderstood. Living a mystical, soul-led life, living the life of following where the rose thread is calling you, living a life of radical courage, you will be very often misunderstood. But on the flip side, you feel that it is so worth it because you may be misunderstood externally, but you with yourself, you've never understood and honored and loved yourself and felt more fulfilled with yourself and more proud of yourself than ever before. I have to show you this one before I shuffle this deck. This video is turning out to be longer than I expected. I hope you all are still here with me and are appreciating these messages as deeply as I am. I am so grateful for these messages today. At the bottom of the deck, I almost feel like this is the card. I really do. I'm going to put this aside. My soul knows the way. The only way out is through. That right there is a whole nother video, actually, very similar to a topic that I had been thinking about talking about in another video. Mistress of the labyrinth. My soul knows the way. How beautifully does that mirror the message of this one? My soul knows the way. I just saw 1111 and the rose thread. Soul-led, living courageously. Let's do a brief little shuffle of this. See if one last card comes out from the Divine Feminine Oracle deck. I have so much to say to you guys. I am so looking forward to getting back into recording some videos for all my beautiful Divine Feminines out there. So much has happened in my life in the past few weeks, and I feel such a fire inside of myself to communicate some of these messages and this guidance for all of you. What is the message, the archetype for the Divine Feminines to help them, guide them? We have this. I love this. The Goddess of Abundance. I'm not even going to try to say these names, you guys. The Goddess of Abundance. I choose to feel abundant. Wealth is an inside job. Wealth is an inside job. Wealth is in your heart space. This is very much, feels very similar, very relevant to the video I did for Feminine Friday this past Friday, talking about value, self-worth, your own value, your standards, attracting in masculine, attracting in a man who is aligned with your heart, the depth of your heart, your own emotional availability, your own emotional maturity. Wealth is an inside job. Abundance is so much more than just money. Wealth is an energy. Abundance is an energy. Are you aware of all of the avenues of abundance? Can you feel abundance before you even maybe see it? Can you feel it as an energy form? This again, it's bring me back to the video I want to do about losing people. I'm clearly being guided to do that video next, so I think we'll have to record that after this one. I choose to feel abundant. Wealth is an inside job. Wealth is an inside job because if you are dealing with childhood traumas, relational traumas, abuse, whatever it is, I don't care, it doesn't matter. If you are on a healing journey, you recognize that the whole problem is that you have a void in your heart. You have these black spaces of voids in your heart, and you have probably spent the majority of your life trying to take things externally, whether it be love from other people or chasing money and success or chasing people and relationships, whatever your thing is, chasing these external things and trying to plug the whole black holes, the voids in your heart with these things and wondering why it never really works, right? You never really truly feel fulfilled and satisfied, and there's always something like lacking because it's you. that needs to go into those holes, into those voids, and plug them up with your own love and your own healing. And 9 times out of 10, the voids in your heart are from your mother. Mother wound. And when I say mother, I mean many generations. Your mother, your mother's mother, your mother's mother's mother, your mother's 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 mother, so on and so forth. And I'm not saying this in a shaming, judging, or victim-y kind of a way. But the feminines, for I don't know how many years, the feminine has not been honored. And the feminine has been suppressed. And so now we have generations and generations and generations of women who have lost their way and been mothers and lost their way of the importance of the contribution of the mothering because of wounds that were inflicted on them that they were unable to address for whatever reason, did not have the resources to address. And it is our responsibility to stop this from continuing to happen. Wealth is an inside job of taking responsibility for your heart space and healing the wounds that have been inflicted upon you by all the mothers that came in your life before you that were not able to support their own healing for whatever reason. We finally live in a time where we do have the resources and the space and the time and the capability and the independence as women to be able to do this work. And it is not easy, but it is so incredibly rewarding and abundant. Really powerful messages today. Thank you so much for being here with me on Sacred Sunday, being in this sacred space. I wish you guys could see I have so many candles in this room, so many candles lit. I was like talking to my friend this morning and I said, I feel like I'm in church right now. I have so many candles lit and it is such a sacred environment that I have in my home right now. Thank you so much for being here in this sacred space with me. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a beautiful Christmas full of love, peace, joy, bliss, and abundance. All the things that are truly abundant, that your heart will be overflowing with fulfillment, satisfaction, and peace and rest. If you found value here, please do like, subscribe, share this video to anyone who feel like you need the blessing of this message today. There was wealth in this message today. Thank you so much for being here with me. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And I'll see you all later.